Hello, welcome to our presentation on It's Like an Educated Guessing Game, Parent Strategies for Collaborative Diabetes Management with Their Children. I'm Yoon a PhD student at the University of Michigan School of Information. This research was conducted with my co-authors Alice Wu, Arpita Saxena, Joyce Lee, Mark Newman, and Sonyang Park. Managing type 1 diabetes, T1D, requires careful diet management, constant blood glucose monitoring, and insulin injections to keep blood sugar levels in range. Keeping blood sugar level in range is very crucial for diabetes patients, as too high or too low levels could lead to fatal conditions such as diabetic coma. Managing T1D in children is even more challenging, as children have insufficient self-care skills, requiring parent help for maintaining blood sugar levels. Thus, parents use different strategies to prevent children's blood sugar levels from becoming too high or too low, minimizing risk to children's health. In this study, we define risk as risky health situations due to children's too high or too low blood sugar levels, which could potentially result in fatal conditions. Pediatric chronic illness management has been extensively studied in HCI, with research focusing on supporting parents' caregiving tests or technology. Other studies have looked at improving communication, self-care strategies, and self-monitoring for adolescent patients. More recently, there has been a call to examine illness management as a family unit through the collaboration of family members known as family informatics. Beyond tracking and monitoring children's health, we thought that it is important to identify how risk could be better handled for parents of children with T1D. Thus, our study aims to understand how parents manage potential risks to children's health and identify how they can collaboratively manage it with children. Specifically, first, we identify 4 parental strategies for managing T1D risks. Second, we highlight the importance of developing parental strategies collaboratively with their child based on parents' knowledge about the cause of risk and the predictability of the occurrence of risks. Third, we suggest design implications for collaborative health technologies that can support parents in planning for contingencies and identifying unknown causes of risk. To achieve this, we recruited 20 child-parent pairs with children between the ages of 6 to 12. Semi-structured interviews were conducted for an hour per pair, and we did a thematic analysis of the transcripts. Our findings revealed that parents employed various strategies for managing risk. We identified that parent strategies were impacted by 2 main factors: the cause of risk, known or unknown, and the occurrence of risk, predictable or unpredictable. The cause of risk is considered known if parents understand how a factor affects their child's blood sugar level significantly, while it is unknown if they are unaware of how such factors work. Similarly, if parents can predict the occurrence of a certain risk, it is predictable, and if they cannot, it is unpredictable. Based on these 2 factors, we identified the 4 types of parental strategies for managing children's risk, which are educated guessing game, contingency planning, experimentation, and reaching out for help. First, when the risky situations were predictable with known causes, parents felt confident and comfortable managing children's T1D. They play an educated guessing game by making informed decisions based on their knowledge and research. These parents acknowledge that they cannot be perfect, so they continue to update their knowledge to make more informed decisions. For example, P5 said, "We are never going to be perfect because we are not pancreas, and there's no way I can completely think and act like one. So yeah, we do our best in educating ourselves and calculating things and researching stuff and being knowledgeable. But when it comes down to it, it's an educated guessing game." Even though the parents were already familiar with the causes of risk, the occurrence of risk was sometimes unpredictable. This was because children's activities or diets were easily influenced by situational or external factors, or they simply changed their minds without telling their parents. Thus, the parents would sometimes have difficulties adjusting the blood sugar levels before children's activities, such as exercising. To lessen this unpredictable risks, parents developed collaborative contingency plans, such as planning meals and activities with children. This involves parents proactively asking children about what activities they wanted to do or what they wanted to eat and making shared decisions. For instance, P6 confirmed with their child what and how much he wanted to eat. P6 said, "We asked him in the morning if he wants that or if he wants something else with his food, his breakfast. Then he chose and said, 'Mommy, I want the apple juice,' or 'I want 1/2 cup of orange,' or 'I want that.'" Sometimes parents could predict risk based on their general knowledge of diabetes or by recognizing patterns in blood sugar levels. However, they didn't have enough knowledge to identify the specific causes of blood sugar change. To deal with this uncertainty, parents tried various experimentations, such as restricting choices or making small adjustments until gaining more knowledge. Sometimes they conducted several rounds of experimentations to seek for a better solution. P17 explained how much effort it took for figuring out the right treatment for hockey. She said, "We had to test him like every 20 or 30 minutes. It took us a couple of weeks. We had to stop during his practice, check where he was, and adjust. And then after a couple of weeks of doing that, we started to see patterns." Lastly, some parents had no idea about the causes of risk, thus unable to predict the risk at all. This was especially common for children in the early stages of T1D diagnosis. To overcome this challenge, a lot of parents consulted with health professionals, but some of them still struggle due to individual variability and contextual factors. Thus, some parents also reached out for advice from online communities. Our findings show making sense of risk for children is challenging because children are easily influenced by situations and change their minds in unexpected ways. Thus, although parents mostly rely on their own reasoning, they also involve children as proxies for planning for contingent risks or discovering unidentified causes. What's interesting is that parents try to do sense-making of potential risks in advance or contingent risks that could happen in the future. Thus, parent-child collaboration was crucial for performing the ultimate step, the educated guessing game. In the early diagnosis, parents often try to lessen the risk by restricting children's activities and foods to avoid the causes of risk. However, as they become more knowledgeable, they try to further explore the unknown causes by trying out new foods or monitoring activities. This requires parents to involve their child in experimentation, leading to collaborative experimentation. Most children start with a lower level of involvement as a proxy because of their young age and fewer self-care skills, but they gradually become more involved in understanding how the experimentation works and actively seeking for better action plans. In summary, our study suggests that collaborative health technologies can be designed to support parents to do better sense-making by planning for contingencies and identifying unknown causes of risk together with their children. This can be achieved by providing guidelines for developing new contingency plans and recommending possible procedures for collaborative experimentations. For better collaboration, how much children are involved should be carefully designed, considering their knowledge and self-care skills. For more detailed information, please refer to our paper. Thank you for your attention, and feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions.